Hey everyone, my name is Shay Rodriguez and you are listening to Goals Tiny Tips. Today we're going to focus on small business lessons from billion dollar brands. The article is actually written by Silva. She's a contributor to Forbes.com, and she talks about thinking like Ralph Lipschitz in order to get the results of Ralph Lauren. Now, what I'm going to ask you first is think about brands like Nike, Apple, and Ralph Lauren. What do you see when you think about those brands in your mind? You see home decor, you see medium price points, you see high price points, you see computers, you see phones, you see clothing, you see shoes. When you think about these companies, what you don't remember, what you don't think, is that they started off with one clear concept and built from there. And that's your issue. As a small business, you cannot think of where a big business is now and try to emulate that because you don't have the resources and you haven't perfected your foundation. Ralph Lauren started out making wide fabric ties with crazy prints on them, which was a direct contrast to the skinny ties that were out in the 60s. And he really believed in the wide tie design that he did, and he pushed it. He went against naysayers and he pushed that. He wasn't pushing polos, he wasn't pushing towels, he wasn't pushing candles, he wasn't pushing, what we know of as Ralph Lauren today. He was pushing Ralph Lipschitz's agenda of wide fabric ties. Same thing with Nike. They started off as selling athletic shoes for 20 years. Apple, we know the story of Apple. We know, they started off just trying to make a design that was so sleek and catered to a specific user, and they built from there. Starbucks, same thing. They catered to a higher end customer, and now everyone knows Starbucks. They know the lingo, the language, everything. They also know that if you don't know the lingo or the language, you don't need to go in there. So they still have a niche customer and they're still able to sell to everyone, but they're still staying true to those core values. A big issue with a lot of entrepreneurs today is that we kind of go into business thinking, I want to start a yoga studio, for example, and I wanted to have a juice bar, childcare, and I want to teach stripper classes. I don't understand how that works. And if your business isn't working, your business doesn't understand how that works either. So what you need to do is focus on what you love. If you love teaching yoga, focus on just the yoga classes at this point, and focus on what you know about your industry that's going to make your consumer come back. Then you can branch out to having that juice bar. And then if it fits, if your target customer has children and you think adding in a child care component would work for you, then you add that in. But that's only after you have people coming back to take the yoga classes that have children. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Pia Silva explains this theory perfectly in her article. I'm going to leave that down below in the description. And you can go ahead and check that out and tell me what you think. Tell me what your business idea is. Tell me what you love about your industry. And be sure to catch the next episode of Goals the Podcast featuring Actually Ashley of YouTube. Thanks so much, guys. Until next time, this is Goals Tiny Tips with Shay Rodriguez.